Hi everyone, this is Mr. Hui again, your teacher of English. Today we're going to tackle perfect tenses. Have plus past participle of the verb. These tenses are used to highlight the result of a completed action. Let's see first the present perfect. Simple. Have or has plus past participle of the verb. Here's the table to show you the different forms of the present perfect. In the affirmative form, you have or has plus past participle. Example, he has played. The negative form is haven't or hasn't plus past participle. Example, he hasn't played. For questions, you're going to write have or has plus subject plus past participle. Example, has he played? And for interrogative forms, haven't or hasn't plus subject plus past participle. Example, hasn't he played? Now, when is the present perfect used? The present perfect is used to talk about experience from the past. We're not interested in when you did something. We only want to know if you did it. For example, have you ever been to Atlanta? We also use the present perfect to mention change or to give new information. To illustrate, we can say the police have arrested the killer. The present perfect is used for actions started in the past and that continue in the present, mainly with state verbs. State verbs, we have a few examples: to be or to know. Now, let's give a sentence that will illustrate this point. I have known him since his birthday party. All in all, it mentions a past action that has a strong connection with the present. Some expressions used with the perfect: for, since, ever, never, already, yet, still, just, recently, lately, this. Example, I have just seen him. So you have the word just. It triggers the present perfect. She hasn't finished yet. Yet is also another word that triggers the present perfect. Now here's an exercise to practice the present perfect simple. Okay guys, I think that it's time we did it together. I not work today. I have not worked today. Number 2, we buy a new lamp. We have bought a new lamp. And here it is important to notice that buy is an irregular verb. I told you for irregular verbs, you need to learn by heart the different forms of those verbs for the preterite or the past participle. Now, sentence 3. We not plan our holiday yet. We haven't planned our holiday yet. 4. Where be you? It's a question. The answer is, where have you been? Number 5. He writes 5 letters. The answer is, he has written 5 letters. Mind the pronunciation of written. It's not written, but it is written. Number 6. She not see him for a long time. The answer is, she hasn't seen him for a long time. 7. Be you to school? Question. Have you been to school? Number 8. School not start yet. School hasn't started yet. Okay guys, now let's tackle the second tense concerning the perfect, which is the past perfect. Past perfect is had plus past participle of the verb. Here is the table. Affirmative form, had plus past participle. Example, he had played. Negative form, hadn't plus past participle. For example, he hadn't played. Interrogative form, had plus subject plus past participle. Let's read an example. Had he played? And the last form, the interrogative form, hadn't plus subject plus past participle. And here's an example. Hadn't he played? Now let's see when the past perfect is used. The past perfect tense expresses action in the past before another action in the past. This is the past in the past. For example, the plane left at 10 a.m. We arrived at 10:30 a.m. When we arrived, the plane had already left. Okay guys, let's do an exercise to learn more about the past perfect. Feedback time. Let's correct the sentences. Number 1. The storm destroyed the sandcastle that we built was the answer. That we had built with T at the end. Number 2. A not B to Cape Town before 1997. He hadn't been to Cape Town before 1997. 3. When she went out to play, she do already her homework. When she went out to play, she had already done her homework. 4. My brother ate all the cake that our mom make. Here, make is going to turn into had made. That our mom had made. 5. The doctor took off the plaster that he put on 6 weeks before. That he had put on 6 weeks before. 6. The waiter brought a drink that I not ordered. The waiter brought a drink that I hadn't ordered. 7. I could not remember the poem we learned the week before. I could not remember the poem we had learned the week before. 8. The children collected the chestnuts that fall from the tree. The answer is that had fallen from the tree. 9. He phoned Angie before he went to see her in London. Question. Had he phoned Angie before he went to see her in London? Number 10. She not ride a horse before that day. She hadn't ridden a horse before that day. Good job, everyone. Now let's see the future perfect. The formula for the future perfect is will plus have plus past participle of the verb. Here is the table. Positive sentences will have plus past participle. Example, he will have played. Negative sentences won't have plus past participle. Example, he won't have played. For questions, will plus subject plus have past participle. For example, will he have played? And for interrogative forms, we have won't plus subject plus have past participle. Won't he have played? Now, when is the future perfect tense used? It is used for an action which will be finished before a stated future time. Example number 1. Tomorrow, the plane will leave at 10 a.m. But you arrive at the airport at 10:30 a.m. The plane will have already gone. Number 2. It will have delivered all the newspaper by 8 a.m. The future perfect tense is used with the following time expressions: before, till, until, by the time, by then, etc. Note: till and until are mostly used in the negative sentences. Example, she will have finished the report by tomorrow. She won't have completed the report till or until 6 o'clock. Now, let's practice the future perfect tense. Write the following verbs in the future perfect tense. I know this one is a little bit complicated, but let's do it together. Number 1. By this time tomorrow, I finish the project? What is the answer? By this time tomorrow, I will have finished the project. Number 2. By 8 o'clock, the kids fall asleep. By 8 o'clock, the kids will have fallen asleep. Number 3. By tomorrow morning, he sleep wonderfully. By tomorrow morning, he will have slept wonderfully. 4. By next year, she received a promotion. By next year, she will have received a promotion. 5. Robin sell his car by next Sunday. Robin will have sold his car by next Sunday. 6. Morgan cleaned the entire house by lunch. Morgan will have cleaned the entire house by lunch. 7. We dance a few dances before midnight. We will have danced a few dances before midnight. Good job, everyone. Now it's time to recap. We've seen the perfect tenses. The 3 perfect tenses in English are the 3 verb tenses which show action already completed. The word perfect literally means made complete or complete, completely done, and highlight the result. They are formed by the appropriate tense of the verb to have plus the past participle of the verb. Present perfect. For example, I have seen it. Present tense of to have plus participle. Action is completed with respect to the present. Past perfect. I had seen it. Past tense is of to have plus participle. Here, the action is completed with respect to the past. And future perfect, I will have seen it. Future tense of to have plus the participle. Action is completed with respect to the future. That's all for today. For further practice, you can Google and find that website. That's all for today. Goodbye, everyone. See you next time.